Hello, hello. Listen, listen, somebody is about to get healed and set free tonight because the amount of technical difficulties that just happened. Yeah, I'm so sorry for being late. And I do not know what is going on. I had everything going. Listen, we're just going to move on from that. But I just know somebody is going to hear what they needed to hear tonight. This was the weirdest thing maybe that I've ever experienced. The internet literally came disconnected from the wall 4 minutes before I'm supposed to go online. Then I couldn't connect the microphone. Yeah, that's very weird to me. That's very strange. But hello. Thank you for your patience. I am back and welcome back to Narcissistic with myself, Dr. Yaya Marie. And you may know me from TikTok. I am the one who's been doing a lot of the narcissistic abuse recovery videos from a perspective where we can actually voice what's going on with us. We can voice how we recovered. We can voice our stories. We can share our stories and we can learn from them. This is an interactive community where we are all just one. We are all just in this together. All right. So without further, I'm already late. So tonight, our topic, it won't be any so much of the comment reading like I usually do, but it will be number one. First, I'll break down the cycle, and then you are free to call in and share your story and how you recovered. Okay. So I just want everyone to know that, and shout out to my TikTokers, my TikTok family, my Facebook family. And if you're listening to me on Apple and iHeartRadio, thank you so much for your support. Now, when it comes to narcissistic abuse, you have to remember this is a cycle. This is a cycle that repeats itself unless you decide that you're not going to take anymore. Unless you decide, like, this is it. This is the last rodeo. This is the last time I'm on this roller coaster. It's time to get off. Okay? This cycle is something where if you don't put it into it yourself, the narcissist will have you on this ride as long as they need be. And it could be forever. I talk to a lot of people, and I have seen people in this narcissistic abuse cycle 10, 15, 20 years, literally. So without further ado, we're going to get right into it. And the first stage of the narcissistic abuse cycle is the idealized phase. This is where you are love bombed. You are love bombed. You don't actually, you don't know you're just starting to meet someone and they come on quick, strong. The love bombing hits hard. The future faking hits hard. Now, when we say future faking in this field, future faking is when someone makes a promise about your future, your relationship, where you want to be, but they have absolutely no intentions on this. And the love bombing is how they reel you in. They may tell you, "Oh, I love how you do something, how you cook, how you wear your hair, this is that." That's that first stage. Okay. Now, you are the best to them. You're the best thing since anything. Now, when they're telling you all of this is stage one. it's like they're like buttering you up for the kill. So when they're telling you this, it's like, okay, well, you haven't really had someone to flatter you like the way the narcissist would. The future faking runs so deep. And depending on the level that you're at, that's how you know that's how the narcissist will know how much to future fake with you with. So for example, if you're on a level where you're used to fine dining, you're used to this and that, and like you're used to, I mean, you live a hypergamous lifestyle, the narcissist will come to you with that lifestyle. It'll be for a short time, but they will come to you with that lifestyle. If you're not into that type of lifestyle, they'll meet you where you're at. If you're used to, oh, he just took me to, or she just, she bought me a pair of shoes, or he just took me to, I don't know, Olive Garden. They'll meet you at whatever lifestyle you're in. They will meet you right there. And that is where they will start their future faking. Okay. So when they future fake, none of it is true. None of it. It's how they felt at that time. At that time. Those are the key words. At that time. Now, this sets you up for the next phase, which is the devalue. The devalue. Suddenly, you're not as cool as what the narcissist put you as. You're not on that pedestal anymore. Matter of fact, they start slowly kicking that pedestal up off of your feet. Okay, that's the devalue stage. They made, like how we talked about right there in that future faking, they loved how you cook. All of a sudden, oh well, I already ate before I got home. Or they used to love how you might have been a man or a woman that actually takes pride in your accomplishments and your work and your work ethic and your studies. You might have went really, really far in life as far as education, and they would look at your ambition and say, hey, now you're too masculine, or now it's just now you're arrogant because you have a degree, or now you're in this type of job or this type of field as an accountant, and you just don't act the same. All of this is things they're making it up. Okay, this is not anything that you can control, and there isn't anything that you can fix. Also, you can't fix this because the narcissist is making things up because they know they're going to hit you with that discard, which we'll talk about next. They're going to hit you with the discard. And what is going to happen then is that you are not going to be adequate for them. Mind you, we know this narcissist doesn't come with much. And if they do, it's more of a, what could I get from you? What could I get from you? Okay. Now, when you're looking at the devalue stage, that is just what that word is. They are devaluing you. They're taking away the value that you have in yourself. They want to squash your self-pride. They want to manipulate situations to make it seem like you are crazy. At this stage, they may also turn to gaslighting. Gaslighting is a tactic where, let's say if somebody is arguing and they say, well, you said this or that, and you did not say that. But they have to make it seem like you said something because that's how they justify a behavior. Okay? So when you're saying, okay, well, maybe they don't gaslight, maybe they don't do that. But here's another thing they do. They slowly take away all those texts and the calls and everything you got in that love bomb stage. They slowly take it away. Now you're used to getting calls at 9 a.m. saying, hey, good morning, have a very good day at work. They slowly take that away, wondering, now you're wondering, oh, well, why hasn't this person text me? Or why haven't they called at this certain hour, at this certain time? This is where they slowly take away the things that they did in that love bomb. That's what this next one is, that devalue. So I'm hoping everybody understands that part and keep listening, because this is a real cycle. People have studied this. This is not anything where you could um it's just a trending word because everybody's a narcissist. Yeah, people may be toxic, but that doesn't mean they're a narcissist. Okay. Let's see. We got one caller. Then we're going to add her to the stream while I take a sip of water. Okay. All right. Hey, caller. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. How you doing?
I'm okay. I
I'm
was.
just gonna take a sip of water, and then you just take it for 1 second. Let me take a sip of water. I'm coming right
Oh,
back.
okay.
Are you there, caller?
Oh, I'm here. I'm
Oh,
here.
okay, I'm listening.
I was just thinking about what you were saying about the stages. But I wanted to make something. I mean, you went through the first stage of how they love bomb and they get you on this track, but it doesn't. I was gonna say it's not that streamlined. It's not like a white or black. It's like a gray area. Like you go into it, and before you know it, you're in it. So it's not like it's like one day you're this way, and the next day you're love bombed, or next day you're devalued. It's like a evolving thing because it wasn't like right away when you realize that, as you talk about.
Yeah, it's
You know what I
not.
mean?
Well, it could. Well, everybody's different,
Right.
and all of these type of people are different. But
Hmm.
it's just as fast as that love bomb comes,
Hmm.
just as fast as that devalue comes.
Okay, you're right, and that's what I experienced because I mean, at first it was all flowers and candy, and oh, you're the one, and then all of a sudden, it's as if you say one thing, and there's this person looking at you crazy, like, oh, well, now I'm
Hmm.
kind of tired of you, so to speak. But that's
Hmm.
like later in the relationship when you're already caught up in the web. It's like fishing. You caught the fish, and
That's
now it's like,
right.
okay, I'm gonna get rid of you because you don't value to me anymore. But the fish is like, okay, I'm dead now. Like, what do I do?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good analogy, because once they reel you in with that love bomb,
Uh-huh.
and that future faking is something else, because that future faking, as we talked last week, it really hits your emotions,
Right.
and it talks to like the child in you, and that's why a lot of narcissists, they choose people that have childhood trauma.
Right. And that
So
goes back to people talking, and we talked about that too. How I talk about you say too much in the beginning of the relationship, and they learn all these things about you.
yes, that is true. That is true.
Because how would they know?
Yeah, oh well, yeah. Most of the time they don't know unless you tell them.
Right.
Now, I would say this now. Some of them do have demonic intel.
Mm.
Some of them do have just a knowing about them. You know how we have our people that are believers, or you have some type of gift to say something ain't right about somebody.
Mm. Okay.
They also have that on the demonic side.
Wow.
They have that too. So most of the time it's people talking, but they give clues, and people give clues about just talking a little too much.
Hmm. Right.
But some of them actually do have targets. Some of them have targets, and it's just demonic. And just how we have discernment, they have dark.
Mm.
I'll just say dark discernment.
Right. Right. Like a
They have
radar
dark
on
discernment.
somebody,
Yeah,
like they're
that's
on
a
the
good
radar.
term for it. I can't really think of anything else to say what kind of how would they know.
Right.
All I could actually explain it as because some things you can read. There's so many books on narcissism. I
Mm,
mean, brilliant doctors, everything about
right,
this subject.
right.
But how do they really target people? And then let's say you are a person who doesn't talk too much. You're doing everything that you're supposed to do, and you still get a narcissist. How
Hmm.
does that happen?
It's almost like a bully to a person that they know is sensitive and timid, that kind of
Mhm.
thing. They know how they can just kind of bully a person
Yeah, that's
almost.
true too. Yeah.
You know, when you think about a bully to a person that is, the bully kind of knows when they can bully someone.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of know when they can lay off someone. If you don't say the right thing to a bully, they're gonna keep bullying you.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And and I have to admit, I was a bully. I'm not I was a bully, but I was bullied in school.
Uh-huh.
So my timid nature, my nature of help and service to people and giving people the benefit of the doubt,
Mm-hmm.
I think might have played a role in that. I'm
Yeah,
trying to
somebody actually
understand
did
that.
put that on my TikTok too. I wish I could I wish you would call because someone literally just put that I mean that
Mm,
same thing because they give people benefit of the
benefit
doubt.
of the doubt. Benefit of the doubt. Like,
And you know,
okay,
you're taught, see the good in people and things like that.
right,
But
right. Like,
yeah,
right. Not only
mhm,
that, I want the good from that person, but I see that this could be a good relationship, and okay, we can work with this. I can work with this person, and not knowing that he could be this person that is just the opposite. We don't see that in
mhm,
people when we're trying to see the good in people.
mm,
We don't see that. We're that person that just wants to live life and be with someone and be happy. We don't see the negative and the bad. I actually think that people start with a clean slate. They're
mhm.
not born into evil. But as I go through life, I'm like, wait a minute,
Right.
hold on. I keep reading about 5-year-olds shooting people,
Uh-huh. Or
killing
wait,
people,
don't say that word. It say offing people because
offing people. I'm
yeah.
sorry. Uh,
Yeah, I know. Just offing,
Because
yeah.
I try to stay a certain way because we're on this live channel. But yeah,
Right.
that people, that the kids grow up, they're born into doing things they shouldn't be doing. Like, wait a minute, I thought that they were clean.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought they didn't know all these
Yeah.
different things.
This is
How
another
do they?
level of spiritual uh it's a battle. I mean, I recently put out a video on TikTok about how like the two demons that manifest when narcissists get enraged.
Mm,
Now, some people didn't know where I was coming from, whatever.
mm.
I had the urge to put that out there.
I think I saw that you put that out.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
I follow you a lot, and
and
I
a lot of
saw
people
that.
were saying, "Yeah, I've seen the black eyes.
Right,
I've seen their voice change. I've
right.
seen
Oh yes,
them
I did
spin."
identify with that. I did see that. I did
Yeah,
see that. Like, you say one thing and they just turn into this other person
yeah,
early on in the relationship. Like, whoa, and you
mhm,
don't think nothing of it. You
yeah,
move on, like, okay, they're upset. Okay, no big deal.
yeah.
You don't think
I
of it
mean, this
until
lady even
later on.
had a picture of the person's face. You could see the snake morphing in their face,
Wow,
and she said they were hissing and spitting. That's Python.
wow,
Okay,
wow.
we have a caller. Let me add him to the stream. Michael, let's see. Hello, Michael. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi,
Hi,
Mom.
how are you?
I'm good.
It is
Um,
wonderful to have you here.
yeah, it's good to be listening in. All the complications you had at the beginning, like we're definitely going to be healed tonight, right?
Oh my gosh, this is I could not believe what was
Yes,
going on. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
yes,
and that's when good work is being done. You know what I mean? When that kind of stuff
exactly.
happens. So you're definitely doing some good work for people, you know?
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Do you now, okay, so what was your experience so far? We talked about those first two stages. Did you have anything about how you experienced those two?
I mean, absolutely. So, I feel like that sort of like idealized stage, the love bombing stage, was pre-marriage, and it
Mm,
was almost like as soon as like we got married, everything changed. Like all
Wow.
the things that she would kind of tout about me, like all of a sudden it was like I couldn't do anything right.
mm.
Um, and I can relate with the other caller. I'm so sorry I didn't catch your name, but like with the having past history of trauma, like
Yes.
this kind of being like a bit predatory, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like and so all these things really put me in a vulnerable, regressive place at times.
That's the word. Vulnerable. Vulnerable regressive.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like for me, I always try to figure out, well, how did I get here? And I feel
Hmm.
like, Freud talks about like how like we keep going through these loops
Mm.
repetitively until we learn something. And, my father was a narcissist. And
Mm,
so, obviously having some unresolved feelings there has brought me to a place where I have to confront this.
mm.
Wow.
And I kind of I messaged you on Facebook the other day. So my situation is pretty dire right now.
Are
My
you the
daughter has
one with the children? With
yeah,
gotcha. Okay.
yeah, so my daughter has cancer, and she's in Boston right now fighting, and she's on a path of healing right now.
Mm.
And basically, I feel like my wife has a narcissistic mother, and that's kind of where that comes from. And so, like, I kind of go back and forth trying to figure out, like, is this her? Is it just her mother, and she kind of loses her identity in this? But I'm certainly going through the discard right now, and like, having done everything I can for this journey, I'm now in a place where like I'm to blame for everything that has happened.
Yeah, and that unfortunately, when we deal with NPD, that's one of the worst parts is the discard. Of course, devalue, but that discard is when they're really, leaving. I mean, they already have left or leaving, things such as that. Now, the thing about her having the family lineage of narcissism, and also with your family of narcissism, I would really want you to listen to my podcast where I go break down, is it familiar? It's called The Relationship is Set Up from Satan. It's on YouTube, and it's right down on the videos where I go into familiar spirits. I go into how people that usually come from narcissistic abuse from parents
Mm.
choose narcissistic partners, and
Wow.
it's not by coincidence. And once you realize it and recognize what's going on, you definitely have to break that cycle with prayer and fasting. And
So
mhm,
I don't mean to interrupt because you were saying good stuff. I mean, what's crazy is that like God always has me on the path. So I just did. I'm not Muslim, but I always
mhm,
participate in Ramadan.
got
So I
you.
just did a full 30 days fasting. So I'm right there,
Good.
and
Yeah.
I
That's
mean
what breaks
it's
that
just
cycle.
it's so hard though, because like I mean in this case, like if we didn't have kids together and my daughter wasn't battling cancer,
Mm.
it'd be so much easier to
Oh,
break the cycle.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's that
there's an
soul
emotional
tie.
yeah, and there's an emotional thing here too,
Yeah.
because when she split things up, like she's really bashing me, and she put me in a position where I couldn't see my daughter while she was in the hospital.
Wow.
So like in this position like that I find myself in, it's just so difficult to navigate because I feel so much great relief in prayer and
Mhm.
meditation and
Mhm.
everything I'm working on. Like as a matter of fact, I had this like feeling like probably about a week ago, and like I woke up one morning and all that tension, all that pain
Yeah,
that I held on to, stuff that I held from my father, stuff that maybe even like my family has held for generations, it shed off me and I felt such relief. But
that's the peace that passes all understanding.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's just it I have to keep confronting it though. It's like it's so
Mhm.
crazy. I feel like when you break those generational trauma ties,
Mm, mm,
it comes around you, it wraps you, it
Oh,
engulfs
yeah.
you,
mm, mm,
and you have no other choice but to sit in it or wade in it or walk through it.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. Wow.
And I'm recovering from the sins of my father and his father before him the
Yeah.
whole way down, and I see it in her too. I mean, it may be foolish of me, but I see light in her, and I just don't know. I don't know what to do. I do feel like I need to break from this, and I
Yeah.
just
You have a
you
freedom
know.
to
And did you
speak.
go to court yet?
So court is coming up. So the
Yeah.
first day of court, I mean, this is where you talk about spiritual warfare. I mean, I was so
Yes.
blindsided. The first day, my lawyer like didn't even give me a chance to speak. So I just had to go along with everything that was put
Oh my
forward.
goodness.
So she has custody of the kids right now. I cannot see my boy, but I can see my daughter for 2 hours a day.
Hmm.
Um,
Wow. And
so
one thing about the court system, and just and for anybody else that's also listening, going through this, or may listening to replays, you have to be fully prepared with evidence and never go in there saying this person's a narcissist, because you have to think we live in a world where most of them are narcissists, the judges, the lawyers, and everything like that. So you have to come with full
Evidence.
things that I mean, even as far as the text messages from the phone numbers or phone numbers that they have through these, they make up different apps with the text app and thing like that. Everything that you can to support your claim. So for anyone that's listening, going through custody battles, because that's all that I mean, TikTok is just lit up on my timeline with people that have children with a narcissist. You really have to be on your P's and Q's and make sure you document everything, record everything, even simple conversations.
Mm,
Okay, so just and if for anybody else that's listening, make sure you do that.
wow.
Yeah, I mean that's so unfortunate, Michael.
Yes.
I really hope. Oh, and you know what?
Pray for Mike. Yes.
Yeah, we
That's crazy.
we are really going to keep you like lifted up, and also you got to remember, Michael, this is spiritual warfare, but it's worth the fight.
Yes.
You have the
Absolutely.
children, and
Mm.
it's so sad to
And they
hear.
have no clue what's going on. You just pray for
Yeah,
those children. That's pray for those children.
and
That's
they're little kids, right?
aw.
they're they're three and they're twins.
Yeah, yeah, twins. That's
Oh,
why I was like such lovely children.
they're
I mean, we've been through so many blessings. It's sort of like I just can't understand how we got here. And I mean, I don't know if it was one of your videos, but I watched a video about like the narcissistic mother and how like the
twins.
discard plays out differently because there is always a source of energy. The new
Mm,
Yeah,
supply is the children.
yes, yeah. But especially with women who are narcissists. With the women who are narcissists, you have them having children. A lot of times they have, babies with everyone they meet, literally, and they use the children to feed their need. They
mm,
don't really, care, or I mean, not to say they don't care, but it's not the same as if, two people say, "Hey, we love each other, let's have a
mm.
family." It's totally different for
Not a
them.
loving relationship.
Right? The children are satisfying something they need. And
Wow.
some of them will actually say, "I needed this child.
To
I
use
need it."
as a
Some of them will say
propaganda.
that.
To use the
Yeah.
mechanism. Wow. I never thought of it like that.
Yeah. So some of them will, the dynamic is different. So and usually once they have the child, they want to move the man out of the picture because
Yeah.
they're getting their need met. Okay. So yeah, it's such an unfortunate situation. I'm just, I know you will win through this, and you're going to get through, the court system that you guys have to go through.
Well, thank you. I mean, prayers to you too as well. I mean, that's how prayer is uplifted is a prayer for a
Yes.
prayer, and I know I will get through this. I mean, there are definitely
Mhm.
days that I just have such a hard time with it and processing it and trying to
For
figure it
sure.
out. And, I really feel like the core of this really comes from her mother because
Mm,
she's always wanted to just raise the kids.
mm,
And like she's
See?
done everything she can do to augment things like us having like a nanny or anything else to like sort of
Mhm.
strong arm herself in. And trying to keep your identity like in all these huge egos and just keep the house going.
Yeah.
I certainly slip.
Yes. Yeah. I think
I
a
think we
lot of
all do. We all
yeah,
do.
I was just gonna say a lot of it you kind of do lose
Because you're
your own,
vulnerable. You
yeah, your
want
own
love.
identity,
You want a
right?
relationship. You want a family. They don't
Family,
think like
yeah.
this. They're not thinking on that level. Like we're so into giving people the benefit of the doubt. Like I just said, like we want these things because we're so pro family and pro love, and they have another mission.
Mhm.
They have another agenda. Sad to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
It's sad. And they use children in times, especially if
oh
they're
yeah.
especially sick children.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
disgusting.
yeah.
It's almost disgusting.
Yep. Yeah.
It is disgusting.
Yeah.
There's no almost
Yeah.
to it.
Mhm. Especially they usually they definitely use the kids. I remember talking to somebody else. We did a Q&A about that. And yeah, they definitely use the kids and they create situations that are not fortunate and they use them to their advantage.
Wow.
And it's a really cruel and sick game.
It is a game. It's a
Yeah.
game to them because they're trying
Yeah.
to rule and power, be a power
That's right. It's about control.
control.
Yeah.
And it's a form of abuse. It's a form of abuse,
Mhm.
emotional abuse. And it's really sad. It's almost as if someone needs to be locked up for this.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like, how do we lock
Well, let the
people up?
narcissist say it. I mean, they'll set things up, and you'll be the one in jail.
Right. Worse than a bully. Worse than a
Right.
bully. Like the bully's
Right.
the one that you get them in schools and they grow up to be these people that adults. They're the supervisors
Yes.
and the,
Right.
and the people that oversee, and they're bullying the people at work. And because you can't get ahead, and you're the low on the totem pole, you're being bullied. But it's like
Mhm.
narcissists that their gameplay. They're
That's
those
right.
type of people that do these type of things, and we're vulnerable to them because we don't think like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
People
don't.
who well, that's why the narcissist will choose you, because they see something in you where you are not like them.
Wow.
And they want that. They want your light. They want whatever, you're attached to, whatever it is. They want that. And they say, hey, this is something good right here.
Mm.
This is something good.
Because they're sick in the mind to think they have to
Man,
get their own identity.
that's right.
Well, get your own identity. Yeah, the one that I knew, every time I looked around, from janitor to wherever he got his degree, it
Hmm.
was interesting how he moved ahead so easily. But it was always, I'm gonna do this, and I saw him cut and paste to get these things, to do this, and I'm
Hmm.
gonna get that person because they did this to me, and like he was
Oh,
vengeful,
yeah, the narcissist is very revengeful.
very
And
vengeful.
this
He
is why I
has
say
a
it's
grudge,
important
and
to
I just
not
looked
take
like,
them
why?
back in their Hoover stage when they come around and
Mm,
pretend that they love you again. That
yes,
narcissist will hold on to something,
yes.
and they're not coming back because they want a happy family
No,
or
no, 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 no.
relationship.
Right.
They
And
want revenge.
speaking of family, the person didn't even have. He had a kid, but he didn't have a relationship with the kid until he saw that I had a relationship with my daughter, and he was like, "Oh," and I would say, "Well, you don't know the kid," and he wanted his son his money
Hmm.
for taxes, but the wife wouldn't let him get the. It was just crazy, but
Mm.
he never saw the kid. Like, why are you wanting these things? We never had a relationship with the kid.
Yeah, that entitlement. That's pure
You
pure
didn't
narc.
have a relationship with
Yeah.
the child, and what do you want? You want to get taxes from the kid, but you don't have a relationship with the kid. It was like
Wow.
fuming, upset because he couldn't get what he needed from the mother that he discarded. and put on
Mm-hmm.
the shelf, and then moved on and upset
Mm.
that he couldn't get what he needed. You
Wow.
don't see the child. You don't have a relationship. You don't talk to him. It
Mm-mm-mm.
was, I was just like sat back like, wait a minute, something's wrong with it. But I didn't realize this person had a real issue until what, 2 years later in a
Mm-hmm.
3-year relationship, but it was
Mm-hmm.
really 4 years according to him.
Well, don't feel bad because I talk to people that I mean 30 years they've been on this roller
Oh,
coaster.
well, I got out good then.
Right.
I got out good. I got out good. I never was too
Bless your
long.
heart.
3 years is too long. And that was
Yeah.
almost 15 years ago. And I think about, wow, I never really
Mm-hmm.
voiced how I really felt.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like it really never came out until listening and going to your channel. I'm like, I remember.
Mm.
I remember. Oh my
I
gosh.
get that a lot too. I do get that a lot. Like, whoa.
Wow.
That's why I was like, let me do this because some people don't realize this
How
is
bad
a
it
real
was.
thing. This
Yeah.
is not just a toxic person.
Yeah. I didn't realize.
This is a real disorder.
I didn't
This
realize how now I don't want a relationship because of that situation, and not knowing that not everybody's like that.
no.
It's just I have to be more discerning on that
Mm-hmm.
behavior.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh
Not,
yeah, and that's why if anyone's listening on the replay or whatever, please go to the video where there's 2 videos. It's under a playlist and podcast, and I explain how the narcissist is a setup from Satan.
wow.
Yes, I said it.
Ah,
It may sound, it may sound,
Satan is
yes,
involved.
it sounds strange.
Where's the
Especially
book? I want a book. I want to be able to
if-
underline and say this will not
yeah,
happen to me again because I see
yeah,
what's happening. I
yeah.
hear the words because we're so vulnerable when we want love.
Mm-hmm.
When we know we need it, because we're not meant to be alone. Father said
Exactly.
we're not meant to be alone in
That's
this world.
right.
We're not meant to be alone.
That's
But
right.
he does say, be discerning
Mm-hmm.
of those that come to you
Yeah,
in the
you
night.
definitely have to, and that's why I was before I even started that channel. I was I'm a dreamer, I'm a seer, and things like that, and I would see just me telling people
Mm,
don't do it, just stop. I wish I mean I was just going in. So
right.
I said one day I'm just going to start it. And then I mean people have been messaging me and emailing me, and I'm grateful, that
I'm
the
glad
Most
you're
High
here.
Yahuwah is using me because
I'm
I
glad you're
couldn't
here.
do this.
Because
Yeah.
I didn't think I needed a therapist after all these years. I just
Well,
grown
here I
like,
am for free.
you
Hey.
know, right. Like, okay. Then when I think about it, wait a minute.
Yeah. It's
I've been in like
bad.
a
It's
bubble. I've
horrible.
been in a bubble. I've been in
Yeah.
a bubble, not realizing that people are really evil. Like people just go out, just wake up in the day and say, "Who am I going to get today?" To just, I can't say the word, but you know the word I want to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
I don't want to
Yeah.
say the F-bomb, but who
Uh-huh.
am I going to get today that I'm just going to just do what I need to do with
Yeah,
them,
it's
get
horrible.
what I need out of them. It's really sad.
And
Well, that's
then
where like
go
it,
ahead,
it's,
Michael.
that's when that like at the end it sucks about how people just wax cold
Oh,
and like
yes.
Come on now.
and so, it's just like you feel it, and it's like really and truthfully like there's just so much unresolved generational trauma.
That's
Oh,
right.
You know what I mean? Like
what you say?
all the atrocities that were done to your people, like everything, like this stuff just hasn't like gotten to a
Mhm.
place where like
Bad.
we can even compartmentalize it.
Right.
And I feel like the systemic problem comes to like I have to, when I'm looking at this situation, I look at myself a lot because like I am alone right now. And
Yeah.
I entered this space because I was in a trauma bond place, right? I was rebounding, and I wasn't in a place of enough self-love to recognize what I was getting into and where I was going.
Oh wow! Come on now, but you're alone, but you're not lonely because the Father is with you at all times.
And you have a community, yes.
At all times.
You better believe it. I mean, like, though my parents may have forsaken me, the Lord has taken me in,
Right.
Mhm.
because like that's the position I'm in. So like as I enter this particular phase, like confronting my narcissist father got me into a place where like I'm really not in the family.
Mm,
Yeah.
And so like I don't have the family connection, and then like now my family, my nuclear family, my children aren't with me in the house, and so
Mhm.
mhm.
it's just me and God on most days,
Yeah, that's definitely a spiritual attack.
What?
Yeah.
What?
yeah.
Yep.
I
Especially
know that's right.
they
And
they
I live alone.
definitely
I feel that presence. When I'm
yeah.
in here alone and I think about all the things I've been through,
Mhm.
his
Mhm.
Mhm.
presence delivered me from that evil. Thank goodness I wasn't in that evil for longer than what I've heard people in. I just had something's not right with this person. I finally like, wait a minute, let me move away. It's almost like a abusive situation, not physical, but I had to move away with that person to understand that I was done. Otherwise,
Mhm.
they would have kept trying to get in.
Yeah, that is what they do, because that the next stage is after they devalue, which they tear you down, they
Mm,
go on to the discard.
right.
And
And,
of
and
course the
it's a
discard is
cycle,
like
right?
this.
It's a cycle. It keeps going, coming and going, coming and going.
Right. But that discard is when they actually, throw you away like they're
Oh,
discarding or throwing away trash.
yeah, because that's how I felt at one point in a relationship. The guy was
Mm.
just nasty,
Yeah, it's straight up nasty.
rude, like obnoxiously
Yeah.
nasty.
Well, that's actually the real person.
Yes.
And when they discard, it's usually in the most
Ho-
times where you need them most.
Yes.
So, for example, birthdays, or if you're sick in the hospital,
Oh
or you
yeah.
had surgery, or you had,
Yes.
and like Michael's case with, your daughter is sick and things.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Mm-hmm.
when that discard is like
There
the
you go.
opportune moment, you
And
know.
that's your cue right there.
Mhm.
To say, this person is,
Yeah, you had to get your stuff together right then. I'm like, you got
yeah,
to get it.
yeah, you can't
Yeah,
give them the benefit of doubt. You can't give them the benefit of doubt anymore.
yeah,
Like you got to know, like this person is really out of control. Like you, and
yep.
that's what my mind said. Wait a minute, this is
Wow.
not supposed to be that way. I remember my father used to say, love isn't supposed to be hard. It's
Hmm.
not angry. It's not. It's loving. It's
Yeah,
caring.
I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't see an example of love in when
No,
we're talking about God's love. I don't see it like
it's
that.
not hateful. It's not
Yeah,
envious. It's not jealous. It's nothing of that. And if you
yeah,
feel that way with a person, run. Don't walk.
right. Anyone that's listening here, look, run. Okay, put on your shoes,
Put on your New
put on your
Balance
track shoes, your
and
New Balance, the trainer
keep your
running.
Nikes on.
Yeah, put them on and run.
Whatever you wear, your Nike, your Pumas, whatever. Get the
Yes.
run.
I like my New Balance when I go walking. I don't run.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
trying
most
to run. I'm trying
comfortable.
to
New
get there.
Balance is most comfortable.
Right. And then it's just so ironic because that next phase is the Hoover.
Mm,
Hoover, like a Hoover vacuum. I
mm.
mean, and that's how we got the
Cute.
term. Somebody really was trying to go in on Facebook at me. It was calling me like all type of names because it was like Hoover. What do you mean hover? And I'm like, sorry, sir,
No, no,
no,
no.
Hoover, like Hoover vacuum, like sucking up a vacuum. But
Mm.
anyway,
They have me used to the hover term from a kid going to college.
right.
This parent hovering over. No, not that. Not
No, I'm talking about sucking up like an actual vacuum, the Hoover vacuum.
wow.
And this is where they actually look at you from afar. They may stalk your page, create new pages.
Mm,
They may ride by your house, your job, send you flowers,
mm,
ask multiple friends how you're doing, things like that. This is
mm,
when they do that stage just to get you to suck back in to
mm.
their web of deceit.
Wow.
Now,
Remember
mind you,
that.
right, this is all a cycle.
Wow.
So if you don't get off of this cycle, it will repeat. This is why you see people in these type of relationships for years and even decades.
Mm,
So it's something that if you don't recognize it, it will keep playing with you.
Wow.
until you decide, okay, I've had enough. I see what I'm working with now. And if we have, there's many people I talk to that have children with these, with the
Oh,
narcissist,
wow.
where you have to actually do a technique called gray rocking, where you're taking out the emotions of, when you're talking to the other parent. I mean, these people do not have an off switch. They switch supply, they switch people who they're using, or they're getting benefits from. It doesn't stop because you ended the relationship or you're no longer there. No, they go on to the next person and they repeat the cycle.
Wow. It's
So
like they get a high off of it. Like they get a power trip.
yeah, I mean, and I've heard a lot of it is like a vampire spirit. Like they're actually taking and like sucking you dry.
Yeah. That's
Um,
where that term comes from, maybe.
yeah, maybe. But a lot of them, like they, whatever resources you have or whatever image they want to uphold, then that is what they will use you for.
I remember that. I remember saying certain little things, and I remember the person saying the things I would say. Like, wait a minute, that was my turn.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Like, what? Wait a minute. That was my lingo. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
That totally suggests like a lack of identity on the person.
Exactly.
That is for
I mean,
sure.
there's a chameleon component to it there, but it's almost like, that's when they look at themselves and they can't see what's in us and them, and that's what they're hungry for. You know what I mean? Because they're like a blank slate, and like I think the worst part about it is I think that they don't see themselves for like what they're actually doing.
Mm-hmm.
In some
there's no
cases,
accountability. There's none
right?
whatsoever. And a lot of like this is why they don't get help. I remember someone actually asked me about, I did a video about the karma and the narcissist, and they're like, if they, turn to, God and repent. But when was the last time you actually heard a narcissist genuinely, not the fake, not, how they get in church and try to fake do this and that? When was the last time you actually saw a narcissist say, hey, I have a problem. I don't want to do this anymore.
No, they would still be fake about it. They would still be fake. They wouldn't say narcissist, but they would say things like, oh, yeah, I did that and I'm wrong about it. But they would be fake about it. They wouldn't genuinely.
No, they won't. Yeah.
That they did something wrong. They would just do that because you found them out, and they kind of like peel back from. They'll pull back, and then it'll be okay for a minute.
That's why I'm really leery about these. On YouTube now, you see like diagnosed. What's it called? Diagnosed.
Yes, I saw somebody
people that's been narcissist or diagnosed as a narcissist.
How can you trust that person?
Yeah, I don't know if I trust that because you're still giving them fuel by entertaining them. And listen, I'm like, you're not getting any fuel from me, sir. Or ma'am. No.
Can you recover like an addict or something like this? That's a mental thing. Like, can you recover a recovering addict or recovering narcissist?
Yeah, and sometimes the person, you know who I'm talking about. I know you guys know who I'm talking. They were like, "Oh, my narcissism is acting up."
Like dreadlocks or something.
Yeah, I'm like, sir, he literally said, "Oh yeah, that's my narcissism acting up." No, that's your demon acting.
That's not funny, but that's really funny.
Oh goodness!
Four people that he has under his umbrella. I would feel like.
Well, he's very successful. I guess people want to hear the inside scoop.
Interesting.
Yeah, very
interesting.
Isn't it interesting?
How can you believe what he said? Follow him.
Well, I think people ask him, a lot of questions, and he answers from a narcissistic person perspective. But he had a video where he was like, "Are narcissists evil?" And then he's like, "Oh, no, that's not true." And then he's like, he was like, this is off record, guys. I'm just talking right now because we're done.
Was that one of his cycles he was going through?
I don't know what the
What's
man.
the cycle we're talking about now?
I don't trust anything like that. And then one of the videos he said the narcissist black eyes. He like they're turning black. And then he says something like, "Is it a demon?" He's like, "No, it's not."
Oh wow!
And I wrote something under there, and I said, "Yes, it is."
Is that a devalue stage, or what stage is that he's going through?
He's enraged. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I just try to stay away from that because I don't know what you're operating in.
He's not going through the stages of narcissism.
Right. Yeah. I don't know what. I mean, he may have some valid points, of course, but I mean, you're a glorified narcissist. I'm not going to give into that.
Wow. Interesting.
Well, I have if does Brad's Cuisine want to come up? If you want to, just click the link. If not, we are going to end the show. And I am so grateful that you guys spent the evening with me.
Yes.
And I would love to have you both back again.
Yes.
Is
it absolutely.
Yes, it's every Wednesday at 7. I go live every Wednesday at 7. And there was one person that was there, but I guess maybe they didn't click the link. So
yeah, maybe next time.
Yeah, next time. So everybody, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening and just stay strong.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you for this platform. I appreciate you, Dr. Yaya.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for everything you do.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for listening and thank you for supporting. All right. All right. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful evening. If you are on my iHeartRadio or my Google Podcast and Apple Podcast, thank you so much for listening, tuning in, and I will see you next week or I will see you on TikTok. Bye.